This is RadioOnFire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we are broadcasting from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, a lot of things happened today. This was a crazy day for hip hop. Crazy day for, you know, fans and friends of slain rapper XXXTentacion. So we got the word today. TMZ broke the story as usual. For this type of drama, for TMZ to break the story is easy for them because they put out there that they want people to send footage, tips, that type of thing. A lot of media outlets do that. A lot of media outlets say, if you have some type of a story, hit us up, give us the details. When a fight breaks out, what do people yell out? World star. They say that, right? And they start filming. And if something happens, they're going to send it to World Star. They're going to send it to TMZ. They're going to send it to whoever is going to, you know, compensate them for said footage. And a lot of people, including myself, find it to be distasteful on one hand, but on the other hand, as a member of the media, I understand. I'm torn though, because of course, if it's your family member or if it's your friend that is on said video, you wouldn't like it. But this is the world that we live in today. And that brings me to another point here. So I've been seeing a lot of people online, a lot of rappers, family, well, maybe not family, a lot of rappers and singers online posting about the passing of XXXTentacion. So some of you old heads may not even know who the hell I'm talking about, but I'm sure that you've seen it online. You at least saw 3 X's, and then you were like, you know, but you may not know who the hell we're talking about. You may not know his songs, but clearly you've heard of the passing of this rapper. So rapper, 20 years old, really came up on SoundCloud, sharing his music via SoundCloud. And you know, he had a #1 album in the spring. So I don't want y'all to think that this young guy was not putting in numbers and putting up songs that people were responding to. Now, did he get play in the club? Not necessarily, right? But online, his streaming numbers were up there with the Drakes, the Kendricks, those type of people. He was getting those type of streaming numbers. Now, if you remember back a few weeks ago when Spotify instituted this new policy and they said they were taking down music from some rappers off of their playlist. It was R. Kelly and there was another rapper. It was XXXTentacion. He was the other rapper whose music that they took down because he had some pending charges, some allegations against him, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about. Now, of course, there's so many posts out there, and maybe I'll read some of them. There's so many posts out there that's saying he was so positive, he was a positive guy, and all that stuff. That's called changing the narrative. Okay, that's because he's gone. Now we want to talk about him in a way that is not being real. Okay, now I understand that different people are different things to different people. You know, to Al Capone's mother, he probably was a nice guy, but to the people whose deaths that he murdered, not so much, right? Now, I'm not saying that XXXTentacion took things to that level. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're seeing people trying to change the narrative, trying to talk about him in a way that is different from the way that he lived. Now, the ex-girlfriend, the pregnant girl, accused him of all types of disgusting assault type things. And in this Me Too era, you know, I'm sure that has something to do with the fact that Spotify initially tried to take his music down, right? But he assaulted fans. He was beefing and talking crazy to a lot of rappers. There were threats of violence, and there was violence. He had multiple charges. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, the girl, the pregnant girl, whatever, she accused him of, you know, assault, and she needed some surgery because of injuries that she alleged came from him. So she put up a GoFundMe page, and the GoFundMe page was put up. XXXTentacion himself put $5,000 in the GoFundMe thing. Now, the girl's name is Geneva Ayala. Did I say that right? I butchered the last name, but Geneva's the first name. So he put money in this account, this GoFundMe page that she set up because she had these injuries. You see the two black eyes? She had two black eyes. I'm not even going to show her black eyes, but she had two black eyes and some major damage to her. She said she needed surgery. She put up this GoFundMe page because she said the doctors recommended that she do that because she said she didn't have the money to get this done. This is what she is alleging. So she put up this page, and eventually his fans got to it, and they reported that she was lying. They reported that she misrepresented some stuff, and GoFundMe disabled her page. GoFundMe said, nah, getting this the hell out of here. And they stopped it. So she didn't have the page no more. She couldn't take any more money on the page. But like I said, she's trying to raise money for extensive medical bills because she needs surgery to repair her eyesight. That's what she said. That's what she's alleging. So you fast forward, they do this story on her. So they're trying to put this story together on her. Online, so a Miami-based media outlet does a story on her. They find out that the GoFundMe page has been disabled. Doctors get together, they contact GoFundMe, they do this investigation, they find out that the stuff she's saying was true as far as the injuries, and they reinstate the GoFundMe page, right? The New Times is the media outlet. They published a profile of the controversial SoundCloud artist XXXTentacion, 20 years old. They published this. He was on house arrest, awaiting trial for these charges. These charges include witness tampering, witness harassment, false imprisonment, aggravated battery of a pregnant woman. Now, the piece reported that the alleged victim, who's the girl I'm speaking of, Geneva, started this GoFundMe page to raise money for these bills. Once the story went online, 24 hours after the story goes online, the campaign had already raised $12,000 in 24 hours, right? So evidently, people hearing about this story really touched a nerve in some people. This story went up 1 week ago, a little over a week ago. It went up on June the 5th. Okay, so almost 2 weeks ago. Story went up. Her campaign started back in 2016. Okay. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of these two massive black eyes, severe bodily injuries, in an incident that occurred near Florida International University. Now, in his defense, XXXTentacion said he didn't do it. He said the girl's crazy, and she got, as we say here in Baltimore, she got banked. He said she got jumped. He ain't have nothing to do with it. That's what he said. And as I said, so she went to the hospital, learned that her eye sustained a fracture along the left floor, damaging an optical nerve. She needed a corrective procedure that the doctor said cost $20K, and they told her start the GoFundMe page. So the GoFundMe page was popping. So she does have the money now, and you know, it's interesting. One of the contributors posted this. They said, "I'm sorry for what you've been through. I'm sorry that GoFundMe made you prove your story." Somebody else said, "Good luck with your surgery, and I hope everything goes smoothly." So people also responded via Twitter and all that. So those are allegations, though. It was not proved that he did it. She alleges he did it. He said that he didn't. It's not like he's gonna say, even if he did it, it's not like he's gonna say, "Yeah, I did that shit." You know what I mean? So, you know, let's take that for what it is. But today, I'm scrolling social media, and you see that the rapper was shot by an unknown gunman in a black Dodge Journey almost 2 weeks after this story comes up, and they do this detailed story about her. So is there any connection? Is it a connection with the fact that this story is starting to get so much attention that he comes up dead right after that? Now, some people may say, "Oh no, they took a Louis Vuitton bag out of his car." But we don't know who the gunmen's were. According to dispatch, the call, here's the typical call we get: 2 black males, right, wearing hoodies, and the shooter was wearing a red mask, is what the reports say. And, you know, as typical, of course, when we started posting this story out, you wanted to hope that he was going to pull through. There was some confusion as to whether he was responsive or not. A lot of people took exception to the person who filmed it. So when it happened, immediately pull out their cell phone, and if people start filming, and it got kind of close. They got close to the vehicle. You could see him slumped over. 20 years old. You could see him slumped over in the car. And it was, some people, it might have been, you know, a lot for a lot of people to see, but these videos start circulating of an unconscious man resembling XXXTentacion sitting in the driver's seat of the vehicle. And as I said, they said that Louis Vuitton bag was taken from the vehicle. Here's the thing about this: whoever did this may get caught. People run their mouth a lot. Somebody may snitch on these people who killed this 20-year-old rapper. Second album came out in March, debuted at #1. Popular song is called "Sad" and "Changes." A lot of songs, but a lot of controversy. He had this big thing with Drake a couple years ago. They had some tension, and now the rapper is gone. Of course, his music is going to be streamed really heavy. A lot of people are going to be talking about him. A lot of rappers are rewriting history. Lil Yachty said that XXX was such a positive dude. And if you listen to his music, he clearly was depressed at times. And I don't know. I mean, all I'm saying, for him to have all these charges, for him to have all the controversy, assaulting fans, these allegations, everybody says he's so positive. It doesn't make sense. It's rewriting things. It's like if Donald Trump was to pass away, and then all the Republicans would come out and say, he was such an honest person. Even though we know he's told all these lies. That doesn't mean everything he's ever said was a lie. That just means he tells a lot of lies. So therefore, if somebody comes out the passing of Donald Trump and says he's such an honest person, that's rewriting the narrative. Now, I'm not trying to talk down on this young guy's name at all. I'm just saying that how he lived his life, going and saying that he was a positive person, might be stretching the truth a little bit. He was controversial. You can say that. He was controversial. And I think that is, a fair thing to say. Martin Luther King. When Martin Luther King passed away, if some people said Martin Luther King was a violent individual, people would be like, what? Now, he could have been violent to said person that said it, but generally speaking, to say Martin Luther King was a violent person would probably be a stretch. Is that fair to say? Yeah. Stretch? And I think to say XXXTentacion is positive and honestly all good. And we love people who've passed, and nobody's perfect. I just want people to use the correct terminology, and I don't want history to be rewritten after somebody passes away. Oh, there'd be killers who out there, and if they get killed, the mother's like, oh, my baby, you never did nothing to nobody, you never hurt nobody, and that's not true. That's not an honest thing. But such is life, and that is what people do. And you lose loved ones, and it's not. You don't necessarily always have the answers as to how to act, but that's just the way that I look at it. There are a lot of articles out there. I don't even know where to start, but the article that I'm speaking of is in the Miami New Times. So MiamiNewTimes.com has the story, and there's also an extensive report. Maybe I need to post this as well. That Pitchfork has all of the charges, an extensive rundown of everything that he was accused of doing. You can go to pitchfork.com and they have that as well. So I'll post that. Now, a lot of my fans and listeners may not know who this is. I know who he is, but he's, like I said, he's 20 years old. So a lot of us mature folk are not even going to be aware of this artist. So but it's disturbing to me because he allegedly tortured this girl. So I want to, because I know how some people are, and I know that some people are going to say that they don't understand, this man's not here and blah, 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 blah. But I just have such a problem with people changing the narrative, considering the things that he was accused of. And it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. It's not just simple things like somebody just got smacked or something simple like that. It is very disturbing things. So, do they need to hear this? Do they need to hear some of these things? All right. So he allegedly met this reported victim online. They went out. She had a boyfriend. They started dating. She moved out of the boyfriend's house, moved in with him. So the first alleged domestic violence occurred 2 weeks later. Per her, he just smacked her and broke her iPhone 6 because she complimented a male friend on his jewelry online. Later, after that, he returned to the room with two grilling instruments. Utensils? Is that the right word? Two grilling utensils. A barbecue pitchfork and a barbecue cleaner. According to her, he told her to pick between them because he was going to put one of them in her vagina. She chose the fork He told her to undress, and he was lightly dragging the tool against her inner thigh before she passed out. She said he did not penetrate her with it, but he had it in the area. Following that incident, he began to act violently toward her often. She said that the couple moved to Orlando, and during the deposition, they asked her to pinpoint the days that he threatened to kill you. And she said, reportedly, when we lived in Orlando, it was literally every day. This is, of course, as I said, this is who these rappers are saying was such a positive person. But there's more. About a week and a half after the Orlando incident that I just described, they were on their way to a show. They were in his car. She sang along to his verse. Then she hummed along with the verse of the featured artist on the track. After that, XXXTentacion fell silent, left her in the car outside the venue. Inside, they got into a fight. After the show, home, he took her into the bathroom. He was asking her, why were you singing his part of the song? If I liked him, why did I like him? Did I ever look at his posts on Twitter? She said. Then he headbutted her, punched her, stomped her, put her in the bathtub, where he continued hitting and kicking her. This is the girl who has the 2 black eyes. Okay, this is the girl who put the GoFundMe page up. This is the girl who has the eye socket damage. Okay, he told her, this is what she said, he told her that he wanted to cut my tongue out because I was singing the other guy's parts of the song. She tried to run away. He tackled her, caused her to hit her head on the pavement. As I said, during this assault, she suffered the black eyes, had a lump on the back of her head, scratch marks, bruises, including a large bruise on her ankle where he stomped her. Now, there are photographs of her. This is, or I forgot to say that. This is the positive guy who just come on. Now, this is, you can see the evidence of this, but like I said, he said he didn't do it, so he has millions of fans, and they may believe him. He has not been to trial yet. He did not have a chance to go to trial. He was, before we get to that, so she said that he would break hangers on her legs. He tried cutting her hair and held her head under running water in the bathtub. He was arrested in a separate case, completely separate. He was charged with a home invasion, robbery, aggravated battery with a firearm stemming from an alleged incident that happened before that. He pled no contest to that, and they gave him 6 years probation. So there was another woman that he allegedly assaulted when he got out of jail. They moved back together. He put a knife to her neck, strangled her a bit. While he was locked up, she slept with another guy, and he found out about that. He smacked her a little bit, and so I mean, just so on and so on. So did the guy have problems? Yes, there were accusations, and I do want to say he was not convicted of any of these things. I don't want to say he was convicted of any of these things, but he was accused of these things, and there were definitely things that he did that were not positive. Why do we try to remember people differently than how they lived? Changing the narrative. Changing the narrative. But I do want to say this. I'm sad to see any loss of life. Any loss of life. And I thought that he was clever. I thought that his songs were cool. I thought that the people seemed to like him. And that was cool. But in death, we have to be honest. We have to be honest in death. It's just like, I love Tupac. Big Tupac fan. If somebody says that Tupac was some angel, you're not telling the truth. Like, we loved his music, but a lot of times people become fans of artists, R. Kelly, for instance, but they do shit that's not right, and you got to call them out for it. And that's alive or dead. You got to call him out for it. R. Kelly said he ain't never did nothing wrong. He didn't pee on the girl. He just everything's perfect, right? He's lying about something. He's done some things wrong, but of course he said he did nothing wrong, and he made "I Believe I Can Fly," and everything's supposed to be all good, right? So XXXTentacion, definitely rest in peace, R.I.P. I would like people to refrain from he was such a positive guy. Now this can make you put things in perspective. I saw that Tekashi 6ix9ine apologized to all the people that he has beef with and the rappers that he's been feuding with, and this has made him more reflective of some of the things that he's been saying and doing. But he said also, XXXTentacion, he said, Tekashi 6ix9ine said that XXX was a positive dude. And that's just, you may have had good experiences with him. He didn't beat you up. He didn't fuck you up like he did this girl allegedly. But positive dude, I don't know about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at RadioOnFire. I'm definitely interested to hear people's thoughts on, what I had to say. See you guys tomorrow.